Every family has its traditions, its unspoken rules, its rituals of belonging. You're expected to play along, smile at the right time, clap when told, follow the same path your parents, uncles, cousins, and neighbors followed. For most, it's survival. For the Sigma, it feels like suffocation. He's the one who doesn't show up to every dinner, the one who doesn't call for permission before making life decisions, the one who walks a different road and then gets labeled with a name that's supposed to sting the black sheep. But here's the twist. The Sigma doesn't flinch. He wears the label like armor. Because the truth is, what families call rebellion, he calls freedom. What they call failure, he calls choosing himself. And what they call black sheep, he knows is simply another word for someone who refuses to live chained. Let's break down 10 truths about why the Sigma is branded as the black sheep in families and why he never cared in the first place. 1. He refuses to inherit their guilt. Family traditions are just old chains dressed up as heritage. Families thrive on guilt. It's their favorite weapon, dressed up as tradition. Do this because we always have. Stay because we raised you. Sacrifice yourself because it's what good sons or daughters do. Behind every phrase is the same message. Obedience over individuality, duty over freedom. The Sigma sees through that scam. He refuses to inherit baggage just because it's handed down like some cursed heirloom. He doesn't mistake chains for culture or guilt for love. He'd rather burn the script than play a part written to keep him small. And if breaking those cycles makes him the outcast, he welcomes it. To him, being branded the black sheep is a promotion compared to being another silent sheep shackled by guilt. 2. He doesn't play the respect game. Respect demanded isn't respect, it's fear in disguise. In many families, respect isn't earned, it's demanded at gunpoint through guilt and tradition. You're expected to bow to the loudest uncle, nod to the most dramatic relative, and swallow your words when an elder speaks, no matter how toxic, ignorant, or destructive their stance is. The Sigma doesn't worship age, titles, or family hierarchy. He respects character, not birth order. And when he refuses to kneel to hypocrisy dressed as wisdom, they call it arrogance. But he'd rather carry that label than live as a trained puppet clapping for corruption. He knows false respect is just fear in disguise, and he refuses to perform obedience to make fragile egos feel powerful. 3. He doesn't ask for their validation. The need to be understood is the quickest way to be controlled. Families want you to seek approval before every move, marriage, career, even what hobbies you choose. They want a stamp of permission, a family committee review of your life. But the Sigma never files those papers. He doesn't ask, he doesn't justify, and he doesn't wait for a green light to live. And that refusal terrifies them. Because when a man doesn't beg for validation, the system can't control him. They'll paint him as reckless, selfish, or cold to cover their own insecurity. But the truth is, he's free. He doesn't live for applause at the dinner table or for nods from relatives who never walked his path. He lives aligned to his own compass, even if it means walking alone, and that's why they'll always call him the black sheep. 4. He walks away from the family script. Just because the script is old doesn't mean it's sacred. Families hand you a script. Study this, marry that, live here, retire like this. Most play along because it's safe and predictable, even when it suffocates them. But the Sigma, he rips the script apart without hesitation. When he refuses to follow their rules, they slap the label of disappointment on his back. But what they call betrayal, he calls liberation. To him, their script isn't sacred, it's a cage disguised as tradition. He'd rather carry the stigma of being the black sheep carving his own lines into stone than waste his life as the golden child reciting somebody else's tired script. His rebellion isn't chaos, it's clarity, the refusal to waste a lifetime living someone else's idea of safe. 5. He won't be their emotional trash can. The strong one is often just the one they dump on the most. Every family has someone expected to carry everyone else's drama, the unofficial problem solver, the designated peacemaker, the one who sacrifices his own peace for the illusion of family unity. They wear him down with their chaos, dump their baggage at his feet, and call it love. The Sigma refuses that role. He won't play therapist to cousins who never change, won't absorb toxic rants from bitter relatives stuck on repeat, won't bleed his sanity to keep a family portrait looking whole. He'd rather walk out mid-sentence than drown in problems that aren't his. That boundary gets him branded as selfish in their eyes, but he knows the truth. It isn't selfishness, it's survival. It's the refusal to be the trash can for other people's unresolved messes. The refusal to carry weight that isn't his to bear. 6. He doesn't worship blood over truth. Blood doesn't excuse betrayal. Families love to preach, blood is thicker than water. They wield it like a weapon, the ultimate manipulation card meant to shame you into obedience. But the Sigma doesn't fall for it. To him, blood isn't a free pass, it's just DNA. If someone is toxic, manipulative, or disrespectful, relative or not, he cuts ties without hesitation. He doesn't bow to appearances, doesn't sit politely beside snakes at dinners just to preserve a fake image. He values truth over tradition, loyalty over lineage, character over bloodlines. And that refusal terrifies families built on secrets and dysfunction. Because when one man stops worshiping blood above truth, he rips the rug out from under the whole charade. 7. He rejects the credit card chains. Debt is just slavery with paperwork. In some families, appearances mean everything. Flashy cars, oversized houses, the latest gadgets all paraded like trophies, all paid for by drowning in credit card debt. They clap for each other's purchases, worshiping the illusion of wealth while secretly chained to lenders. They call it success. The Sigma calls it slavery with a price tag. He refuses to sell his freedom to interest rates or mortgage his future for applause. He'd rather be mocked as cheap or boring than live shackled to monthly payments that own his time, energy, and soul. He sees through the circus of appearances and knows the truth. Most aren't successful, they're indentured. And because he won't buy into that charade, they label him the black sheep who doesn't understand responsibility. But in reality, he's the only one who understands freedom. 8. He won't fake family unity. Pretending for pictures is still pretending. Families love photo moments where everyone smiles while secretly despising each other. They demand performance. Fake laughter at reunions, staged hugs at weddings, the polished family image plastered on social media while knives are hidden behind backs. It's theater, not truth. The Sigma opts out. He won't fake smiles for cameras or choke on betrayal at holiday dinners just to keep up appearances. He won't trade authenticity for a photo album. His refusal to play along makes him the villain in their story, but he doesn't care. He knows peace isn't found in a forced group photo. It's found in refusing to live a lie, even if it means standing alone in every frame. 9. He doesn't fear being alone. Better lonely on your own terms than surrounded on theirs. Families weaponize loneliness. If you leave us, you'll regret it. They hurl exile like a curse, assuming that being cut off is the worst fate imaginable. Most fold under that pressure, crawling back just to avoid the silence. But the Sigma, he doesn't fear it. He welcomes it. Solitude isn't punishment to him, it's fuel. It's where he sharpens himself while others waste away in dependency. And that's what terrifies them. They can't leash him with abandonment, can't bait him with the threat of exile. When you can't be manipulated by the fear of being alone, you're unbreakable. That's when the label black sheep stops being an insult and becomes a crown, the proof that he cannot be owned. 10. He builds his own legacy, not theirs. Heirlooms fade. Legacies last. Families want you to carry their legacy, their name, their reputation. But the Sigma isn't interested in polishing old trophies. He builds his own empire. While they obsess over family honor, he obsesses over impact. He doesn't care if they speak ill of him at gatherings. He cares about whether his life speaks when he's no longer in the room. That's why he doesn't care about being the black sheep. He's too busy being a wolf, building something they'll never understand. On a final note, the black sheep isn't broken. He's just the only one brave enough to walk alone. Families label the Sigma the black sheep because he doesn't bow, doesn't beg, and doesn't break under their guilt. But he doesn't care because their acceptance was never his goal. The Sigma isn't living for family applause. He's living for truth, freedom, and legacy. And that's why he walks into every room unshaken, even if every relative whispers the same thing: black sheep.